Now Thomas, one of the 12, called the twin, was not with them when Jesus came. So the other disciples told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "Unless I see in his hands the mark of the nails and place my finger into his side, I will never believe." 8 days later, his disciples were inside again, and Thomas was with them. Although the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it in my side. Do not disbelieve, but believe." Thomas answered him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed."
Have you ever struggled with doubt? Perhaps you've doubted your ability to do something. You doubted someone's love for you. Doubted that you could make it through a tough situation. We've all been there. We've all doubted something. Maybe you've doubted that there is a God, or that Jesus came to earth, that God would send his son and die for our sins. Wherever you are in that spectrum of doubt, I believe that today's session can really help us to get a better understanding of how to overcome it. I believe that Thomas has gotten a bad rap in history. He's labeled Doubting Thomas. He was one of Jesus's disciples. And just like anybody else in the Bible, other people that we see, they were ordinary, common people, but some of their lives were recorded. So we're able to see everything authentically how they were. And I believe that many of us probably would have doubted the same way. Now, again, think about he's been with Jesus for about 3 years. With the other disciples, with Peter, with John, with Matthew. So he's had a time to listen to Jesus, and Jesus has told him, "I'm going to be crucified and I'm going to be raised from the dead." Now what happens is Jesus shows up to the group, but Thomas is not there for that appearance. And I got to tell you, if you miss that, and you were one of the 12, and you're thinking, well, wait a second, why did he show up and I wasn't there? Maybe he felt left out. I don't know, we can speculate, but how would you feel if you had been a disciple and Jesus showed up and then your friends are telling you about him and saying, "Hey, we saw him." And I'm thinking that had it been me, I probably would have felt maybe a little bad, because at that point, I start thinking about myself. And that's what doubt does. Maybe he started thinking, maybe Jesus doesn't love me. Why would he show up and not be there when I'm there? So perhaps that's what he felt, and maybe that led him to other different behavior. When we doubt, we start getting anxious. We start questioning things. And maybe he started questioning Jesus' love for him. And as a result, you start acting irrationally. He already knew what Jesus said. He said that he was going to die and be resurrected, and his best friends are telling him that. Imagine when your best friends tell you something, you could probably even be happy for them. I'm thinking he could have been happy for Peter and John saying, "Man, we saw the Lord." But he turned on himself and said, "Wait a second. I'm not going to believe this until I see it and until I touch." What I want to ask you here is, how many times have you found yourself in Thomas's shoes, where we want God to show us a sign of something, where we need more proof than just believing what he has already said about us in the Bible, which is his word? Now, what I love about Jesus, though, is that he meets us where we are. And at this point, Thomas is struggling. But what we see in the passage is that a while later, the door was barred. So that means there was something going through that door so that the authorities couldn't get in. They were in hiding. So this was a secure place, but then Jesus shows up, which shows us that nothing can stop Jesus from reaching you. And he immediately goes to Thomas and says, "Here, Put your hand here where my hand is. Look at my hands. Put your hand in my side. He didn't chastise him or shame him for not believing. He just said, here, this is what you want to see, right? And then he tells him, don't not believe, believe. Jesus rewards our faith when we have just a little bit of faith. Sometimes we think that we have to have all this faith. And Jesus said, it only takes faith the size of a mustard seed, which is very, very small, because he's a big God. We just need a little faith. And Jesus told Thomas, you believe because you see. But here's the good news for us, is that he says, blessed are those that believe and yet do not see.